here from Rain Country Homestead. God is good all the time. Today I want to show you how to make your own all-natural lip balm. Super easy and only 3 ingredients. Actually, you could get by with just 2, but I'm going to show you it with 3. And I'm going to give you 2 different recipes. But before we get started on that, I want to say thank you to all my lovely friends out there that tacoed me last night. And I know some of you following me probably have no idea what that means, but they do. And it may be a silly thing, but you know what? It meant a lot to me, and I read each and every one of your comments. And though I didn't have time to like and comment back, I just want you to know I read them and I appreciated them. And thank you so much. It really did make me feel loved and appreciated. So thank you for that. All right, so back to the lip balm. Let's get started. All right, so this is super easy. Now, I personally don't have any special equipment for doing this other than the containers. I just use what I have on hand, which includes a little bitty spoon that my mother-in-law used to collect these. Remember when these were the big craze? And we ended up with her collection when she passed, and so this is actually pretty handy. And then if you want it in a stick form, you'll need to get yourself some of these. I would like to see if I can find some of these in stainless steel rather than plastic, but since I also make these to sell and I try to keep the price down, I get these and I make sure I find USA made, BPA free, and you can get those on Amazon, and I'll give you a link to those. And then there's also, if you prefer it in a pot form, there's also these. Again, they're also BPA free, made in America. And these are really cool because they also come with a sticker. Now these I get actually for putting my samples of my skin cream in to send to people, or just to give as gifts if people just want to try it out. So anyway, there's that. And then you're going to need just a little pot for melting. So what I have in here is 1 part beeswax, and I like to use the pellets just because they melt quicker, and then 1 part coconut oil. Now this is the tedious part when you're talking about filling these containers. They do actually make special little funnels and whatnot, and I have a little metal funnel that works pretty good, but I just now remembered it because I haven't made these in a while. So I'll show you what the spoon is for when I get to that. Now notice how I have these very carefully spread out. It's still not spread out quite far enough. It's best if you don't actually have to grab hold of them. And I usually put newspaper down, but it's really hard to get newspaper to lay completely flat. And when you're using these little sticks, applicators, they're so lightweight that they do not stand up straight, and you need them to be as straight and level as possible. So I tried foil this time. All right, so when you let that sit, what you'll find is it'll kind of concave, and if you're okay with that, that's why you'll buy when you buy lip balms, a lot of times they're inverted, because even though you pour it clip to that point where it's kind of it's convex, it'll eventually go down. Well, again, like I said in my clay video, I like to get, well, maybe I didn't say it, but I like to get my especially if I'm selling them, I like to get these as full as possible. So this is what I use the little spoon for. So as it starts to sink down, then I just top it off. And these still need some time. So I'm going to put this back on the heat for a little bit. Whoop. Oh, my spoon dropped in there. All right, and you can see, because remember how old I am? Some of you were surprised. Yeah, well, yeah, a few years ago I needed to start using these, and when I'm trying to get a good look at these, I have to put on the reading glasses so I can see where the level's at. Now, while I'm letting these settle in, I'll show you, these are the ones I just made. These are the key lime, and you can see I'm going to need to clean them up, because no matter how careful I am, they still seem to, I still seem to get it all over the place. And then I'm going to label them. And you'll see in a picture that I have, some of the last ones I made up a while back. You'll see my labels and stuff. And then this one here is the grapefruit vanilla. And I know these two flavors have been real popular in my soap and in my herbal shampoo, and so I've never made these in the lip balm before, so I decided it was time to finally make a lip balm out of these. Of course, I just thought while we're waiting for this, I've got my beeswax and my coconut oil in a stainless steel pot. You saw it, and you just want to melt it on low. And I'm just keeping it warm right now because it does set up, as you can see here where I got it on the counter, it sets up quite quickly. This is actually still just a little bit soft, but it does set up very quick. And so you have to, especially when you're going to come back and do this, some of these are just about ready to do again. And then I wanted to share with you, if you're going to use a pot method, my first lip balms I made just for myself, and I just get little containers like that big, or even those 4-ounce jars that I put my clay mask in. And when you use that method, it's better not to do this recipe where it's 1-to-1 ratio on the coconut oil and beeswax. If you're going to put it in a pot, then I recommend you use 3 parts coconut oil and 1 part beeswax. Otherwise, it's a lot more difficult to get out of the little pot. And so those are the 2 different recipes. So for the third ingredient, obviously, would be, and so those are the 2, all you need for a nice lip balm is the beeswax, the coconut oil. Now you can get fancy and add more stuff, but then you're going to have to play with it for a while to get your ratios right, like if you're going to add shea butter or anything like that. But I prefer simple, and this is what I've been using for a couple of years now, is at least a couple of years. Actually, I think I've been using it for at least 3 years, this the coconut oil beeswax. And then the third ingredient obviously is whatever essential oils you want to add. So I'm going to repeat this again. If you're using non-therapeutic grade like the Now Foods, you're going to use more than if you use therapeutic grade. Like sometimes a lot of stuff I'll use a whole capful, in the different things I make. And I did the same here. Now, for when I get my therapeutic grade oils that are coming in, I'm only going to be using a tiny little drop in a lot of these, maybe 2 or 3, depending on the oil. And you got to learn about those oils because some are very hot and all you need is a tiny drop. Sometimes you need a couple of drops. Usually your citrus oils are, in certain other ones you can use neat or straight. You don't have to dilute them, or you can use a little bit more. Alright, I have my glasses back on and I'm going to top these off. Now, this is just what I do. It's not necessary. I just like to get these little guys as full as possible. And the spoon is, I just really like it using, I could pour it straight from the pot, but I have a little bit better control of it this way. And if you're old like me, you might want to put on your reading glasses to see. And there we have it. That looks pretty good. So that should be all I need to do. Alright, so there you have it. It's pretty simple. It's just the filling process is what, when you're doing small containers, that's the only hard part. But you've got the recipe, so let me repeat it because I'll probably forget to write it down in the description box. So for if you're going to put it in the sticks like this, you want 1-to-1 ratio of coconut oil and beeswax. Okay, I want to show you what these look like. You can get beeswax in a big old bar, a big old chunk, but it is really hard to cut up. And if it comes down to that and that's the only way I can get it, then I'm fine with that. But for now, I like to use these little pellets. They melt really easy and it's so much easier to measure. So look for those. And again, I'll post a link to these below. Hopefully I'll remember. So 1-to-1 for the stick, and then 3 parts coconut oil to 1 part beeswax for a pot. Okay, and then however much essential oil based on what type of oil you're using. And that's it. It's that simple. Just those few ingredients. It's a good, healthy, all-natural, very inexpensive lip balm that you can just always have on hand whenever you need. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.